Well, hey there, folks. You're tuned into the Blue Collar Skeptic, and I'm your host, Boone Tuggins, longtime mechanic of both motors and nonsense, full-time defender of common sense, and part-time translator of all the highfalutin garbage folks in charge try to slip past you dressed up in $5 words. Around here, we don't run from the truth. We roll up our sleeves, grab a crescent wrench, and wrestle with it till it tells us something useful. Now today, we're not just talking about one story. We're talking about 4 linked crises that together tell a bigger truth. We're going to walk through what's happening to diversity in science, the measles outbreak rolling through Texas, a near shutdown at the National Institutes of Health, and the financial bleeding of our universities. And I'm going to show you how every single one of these things matters to you, your health, your family, and your future. So pour yourself a cup of coffee, or whatever kombucha-adjacent health thing your wife got you hooked on, and let's dig in. We'll start with a warning from Arthur Caplan, one of the sharpest bioethicists we got, writing in Nature in a piece titled, "Don't Wait Out 4 Hard Years, Speak Truth to Power." Caplan calls out the quiet erasure of DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion from science. Agencies like NASA, the Department of Transportation, and major universities are removing all traces of DEI from their websites, their grant proposals, even their job listings, not because it don't matter, but because they're scared of political backlash. Here's the deal, though. Caplan ain't talking about wokeness. He's talking about accuracy, about doing good science. Turns out, when your drug trials are only tested on one kind of person, you get results that only work for that one kind of person. Diversity in research teams, across race, gender, age, geography, improves the quality of science. It helps us build treatments that work better for everyone. So when we gut DEI out of fear, we're not making science more neutral. We're making it more useless. And that, my friends, leads us into the second crisis, the one happening right now in Texas and New Mexico. According to Kate Schweitzer in JAMA and Julian Nowagrodsky over at Nature, we're seeing a full-blown measles outbreak. Nearly 280 cases in Texas spilling into nearby states. A 6-year-old kid is dead. Another adult, unvaccinated, likely died in New Mexico. The measles, folks, something we eliminated in the year 2000. Why's it back? Well, Schweitzer lays it out plain. Vaccine hesitancy is surging, not because the science changed, but because public trust got torched during the COVID pandemic. And now, that same doubt has spread to routine childhood vaccinations. And who's in charge of public health now? Robert F. Kennedy Jr., a man who spent years pushing vaccine misinformation, now handing out cod liver oil and talking about personal choice instead of leadership. Nowagrodsky takes it further. He reminds us what measles really is, one of the most contagious diseases known to man, R0 of 12 to 18. That means one sick person can infect up to 18 others. It hangs in the air for hours. It spreads before the rash even shows up. And it doesn't just kill. It can erase your immune memory, making you more vulnerable to every other bug out there. You think this is just about Texas? One unvaccinated traveler walks through your grocery store, and 2 hours later, your baby's got measles. This is what happens when we let misinformation go unchecked, and when folks in charge put politics over public health. Now let's jump to what happened with the NIH, the National Institutes of Health. In January, according to JAMA, Doctors Rochelle and Loren Walensky sounded the alarm. The NIH shut down, practically overnight. Peer review panels froze, emails stopped, research halted. Then, in February, the federal government slashed how much support labs get for basic operations, capping indirect cost recovery at 15%. That's the money labs use to pay for heat, power, safety, and janitorial work. You can't run a lab without it. You know how much a standard NIH grant has gone up in 30 years? Not one damn cent. The $500,000 cap on direct costs hasn't changed since 1993, and thanks to inflation, that money buys less than half what it used to. Meanwhile, scientists don't get their first major grant till their 40s, and 9 out of 10 grant proposals go unfunded. Not 'cause they're bad, but because there just ain't enough money. Now tell me, how do you expect new cures, new diagnostics, and new treatments to come out of a system like that? Last stop, our universities. And this one hits the whole damn system from the bottom up. Smriti Malapati at Nature reported that Trump-era budget cuts are gutting university research. At places like MIT, Harvard, and Johns Hopkins, grad school offers are being rescinded, hiring is frozen, pay raises scrapped, and $800 million in research funding just vanished from Johns Hopkins alone. That means fewer students, fewer professors, fewer discoveries, and fewer trained professionals. This ain't just a college issue. This is the farm system for the next generation of doctors, scientists, and engineers. You think the guy designing your heart valve learned that in a TikTok comment section? Number. He learned it in a lab, in a university, probably funded by the very programs we're now strangling. So what does all this add up to? It ain't just one crisis, it's one story. A story about disrespecting science, starving the people who do it, and forgetting that the miracles we count on, from vaccines to cancer treatment to clean water, don't happen by accident. They happen because we invest, because we listen, because we protect the damn infrastructure that keeps us safe. You defund diversity, you get worse results. You downplay public health, you get dead kids. You slash research budgets, you get stagnation. You gut universities, you lose the future. So I'm asking you, are we really willing to throw all this away just to win a political point? Or are we gonna fix it before it's too late? Because science ain't some far-off ivory tower thing. It's the air in your kid's lungs, the insulin in your uncle's fridge, the damn diagnosis that might save your life one day. And if we don't defend it, then when the next fire starts, we'll be standing in the ashes, holding an empty bucket, wondering where all the water went. So that's it for today, folks. I know that was a heavy load, and I appreciate you sticking with me through it. This stuff ain't easy, and it sure as hell ain't always fun. But it's real. And in a world where everyone's trying to sell you a shortcut or a scapegoat, sometimes the most rebellious thing you can do is just think for yourself. If something you heard today made you stop and reconsider, good. That's the whole point. I ain't here to tell you what to believe. I'm here to give you the tools to ask better questions. So stay curious, stay skeptical, but most of all, stay kind. The truth don't always shout the loudest, but it's still worth listening to. I'll catch y'all next time. Until then, take care of your people, keep your wits sharp, and remember, ignorance ain't freedom, and science ain't the enemy. This is Boone Tuggins, signing off from the Blue Collar Skeptic. Be good to each other, and don't let nobody sell you bullshit with a bow on it.